Recently my computer broke down, but when I checked it again, I noticed something interesting. The power supply inside still seemed to work. Most people would see this machine as trash. But I started wondering, could something inside still be reused to create something useful? Today, I'm going to try to turn that idea into reality. First, I need to remove the cover of this power supply. Not to repair the computer, but to see what parts inside can still be reused. When something breaks, it doesn't always mean everything inside is useless. Sometimes, if you take it apart carefully, you can find parts that still have a lot of value for DIY projects. Inside a computer power supply, there are many different wires. Each group of wires carries a different voltage and has a different purpose. Some wires power the motherboard, some power the hard drive, the cooling fan, small DC motors, or other electronic components. If used properly, these wires can become very useful materials for small DIY projects. But today, I don't want to just take a few wires and stop there. I want to try something more special. First, I'll sort the wires by color. Wires with the same color will be grouped together. Then I'll mark them and separate each group to avoid confusion later. When working with wires from a power supply, you can use heat shrink tubing, electrical tape, or similar insulating materials to protect the wire ends. Today, I only have white tape, so I'll use that for now. But there is one very important thing to remember. Before reusing any computer power supply, always unplug it completely and do not touch the circuit board inside until you've checked it carefully. The most dangerous part is not these small wires. It's the large capacitors, because they can still hold charge even after the power supply has been unplugged. Now I'll plug in the power supply and check whether today's idea can actually work. First, I should use a multimeter to test these tiny wires. If they still work, they could become the starting point for many different ideas. I have a feeling these wires are still working normally. Let's see if I'm right. Test complete. Now power off. After testing the wires, I suddenly remembered one detail I overlooked at the beginning. Did you notice it? It's the PSU fan inside the power supply. A small fan that normally only cools electronic components. But if it is placed in the right position, it can become the most important part of a completely different idea. At this point, some of you may already be starting to guess, but not so fast. The real purpose still hasn't been revealed. It looks like I'll need a few cylindrical metal containers for this idea. They will play a very important role in today's DIY project. Now I begin cutting and working on these stainless steel containers. I'll remove the unnecessary parts, then connect them together into one combined structure. At first glance, these containers may seem completely unrelated to the computer power supply, but their hollow cylindrical shape is exactly what I need. Once they are joined together, they start forming a fairly solid pathway. At this step, the fit between the edges is very important. If the joints are misaligned, air can easily leak out. And if the connection is too loose, the whole structure may not stay stable when installed into the main body. I still don't want to reveal exactly what it is used for, but you may notice one small detail. I'm creating a tube-shaped pathway, and when a fan is placed at one end, this pathway starts to make a lot more sense. Here I have a foam box. Now I need to place the connected structure inside this box. First, I use a knife to cut a round hole in the side of the foam box. The hole needs to be just large enough for the connected structure to pass through without being too loose. If the hole is too wide, the tube will be difficult to secure firmly. If the hole is too tight, the foam box can easily tear or break around the edge. After cutting the hole, I push the connected structure through it. At this point, it starts acting like a tube passing through the side of the box. From the outside, it may still be hard to guess what this is. But if you pay attention to the PSU fan, the stainless steel containers, and this foam box, you may already be starting to understand where this project is going. Wait a second. I forgot one small hole in the connected structure. Without it, the airflow may not move in the right direction. Luckily, I caught it in time. Now the mechanical part is almost complete. All the main pieces are in place. It's time to test it. I'll run the system once first. If there is vibration, strange noise, or weak airflow, I'll need to adjust it right away. The first result looks pretty good. The fan spins well. The airflow through the tube is quite steady. The joints also show no sign of loosening. That means this idea is heading in the right direction. Today's project only needs 2 power wires. The black wire is the negative wire, and the yellow wire is the positive 1,2 volt wire. This voltage is suitable for powering the PSU fan. I'll connect the wires with the correct polarity and check everything one last time. With electrical projects like this, even one wrong connection can stop the whole system from working properly. Now I'll plug it in and see whether the whole system runs steadily. If everything works correctly, we are only one step away from seeing the real result. It looks like today's DIY build is working well. Now it's time for a real test. I'll place a bag of ice cubes inside the foam box, then close the lid and wait about 5 to 10 minutes. This is where we find out whether all the work from the beginning was really worth it. So, what do you think? An old PSU fan, a computer power supply that seemed to have no value left, a few stainless steel containers, and a simple foam box. When combined together, they can create a mini cooling device that may be useful on hot days. In your opinion, what other parts inside an old computer power supply are worth reusing? Leave your ideas in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to see the next DIY projects.